So this week, the topic is very sensitive. And I thought about it long and hard. And actually, I tried to pray my way through it and energize my way through it and dance my way through it because I wanted it to be about something chipper and upbeat and some tools to just feel great. But the reality is, this is a difficult time for a lot of people. And it was a difficult time for me. It still is. And I wanted to just share from a level of vulnerability and transparency. Recently in the news, we learned that Twitch passed away, reported suicide, and it's causing a lot of people to have more conversation. Definitely sad and can't understand how this could happen because everybody's saying it didn't look like he was sad, or it didn't look like, everybody wants to say what something looks like and what it doesn't look like. But today, I want to bring the conversation very much closer to home. I want to talk about what it looks like, because you know what it does look like? Happy people. It looks like bright, beautiful people who have everything figured out. It looks like me, and it may look like you. But the difference is, how do we talk about it? How do we make it not be something that's so taboo that we keep to ourselves? How do we bring it up in casual conversation? How do we call a friend and say, I'm struggling. I can't believe my money is like this. I can't believe this guy broke my heart, or this lady broke my heart. I can't believe my love life is the way that it is. I can't believe my life is where it is right now. This sucks, and I really don't know why I'm still here. So welcome to Visualize and Vibe with Vivian, your space to create and step into the next version of you. So something that's very personal to me is this depressed feeling or this sad feeling, and people not being comfortable enough to talk about it. I was having a conversation with some friends recently about recent suicides that we're hearing about in the news, and also how come we don't talk about it in our day-to-day? Like, your friends might call and you'll talk about somebody, or you'll commiserate maybe. I know I do. But how often do we say, I really don't know that I still want to be here? Like, take it to the level of depth so that we can make that call for help. And it's not so much so that you're expecting the other person to take an action step to help you. Sometimes it's just a phone call. To be able to talk to someone and they say, yes, I've been there. Let me tell you what happened to me when I was 50 years old. Or let me tell you what happened to me when I was 30 years old. And then you hear it and you understand situationally, things will change. So let's not make a permanent decision based on a circumstance. Although at the time, it may not feel like there's any hope, there's nothing else I can do. What can we do to just reshape a narrative in the moment? Now, I'm not speaking from any space of a diagnosis of depression or clinical depression or anything like that. I'm speaking about a situation where one may feel sad. Something happened. You just broke up with a loved one, or you just broke up with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or you just lost a job, or you may be getting foreclosed on, or a car may be getting repossessed. Like, something that means something to you, something that your ego thrives off of, may be compromised. It may be jeopardized, or maybe things just aren't as peaceful and as supportive as you thought it would be. Maybe you no longer understand what your purpose is. Those are conversations. Those are things that, if you get in the room with the right person at the right time, can cause it to not be so dark. I was listening to Kyle Cease a couple of days ago, and he made a video and he talked about when you shine a light on something, it kind of goes away. Like the boogeyman in the closet, you think it's a monster, but when you turn the light on, you just see it's a coat. Again, I'm not minimizing anybody with a diagnosed depression, but I am saying from my personal experience, I've had situations happen where I thought life would look like something other than what it looked like today. And it was the angels that were in my life at that time to talk me back into the understanding that, girl, this is just life. This is just life. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't, if you know the Almond Joy commercial. Dated myself again. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, throughout the day, it's a matter of what we're comfortable exposing. Sometimes my girlfriends will call me in the morning and say, "Good morning, how are you?" And I used to say, "Oh, I'm good," knowing I was just crying because I didn't want to bring them down first thing in the morning. But recently, I would say, "Hey, here's the thing, I'm crying. So if you want to stay on your high flying disc, you might want to hang up with me." And one of my girlfriends told me yesterday, "I'm so glad to hear you're crying. Please tell me all about it." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "You're the most analytical cause and effect person. You're so scripted in life that I want to see your emotions. I want to be able to understand what's hurting you. What are you feeling? What's causing you to feel good when you feel good and what's causing you to feel bad?" So I began to share things that were making me feel sad. Like, I'm expecting things to look different and it's the holidays. And 2018, my kid's dad, which is my ex-husband, passed away. So it causes all of our feelings in my household to just kind of go somewhere where it's difficult to really understand and process. Like, grief comes in waves. So that's one of them. There might be 20 different things going through my head that aren't going right that I'm crying about. It may wake me up in the middle of the night like it did last night. So showing up here, sharing stories and sharing tips and tools to help us navigate this episode, I wanted to just be very transparent because sometimes it's not all, often, I'll correct myself, often it's not unicorns and rainbows. It's hard, it's daunting, it's challenging, but we have to be vigilant and resourceful to know there is something else beyond this. Today, when I was driving to CVS to pick up a few things, I began to listen to Michael Bernard Beckwith's latest post that he made. And he was saying, when these doubts and when these thoughts start coming into your mind, you have to be vigilant. You have to snap yourself up and say, oh no, not me. The best is yet to come for me. I'm just getting started. You haven't seen anything yet. Yes, I may be down. I may be out. I may not see the results that I'm trying to see, but you just hang in there. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing, and I am going to continue to fulfill what it is that's being called through me, for me, from me, that's flowing to me and to you. So that brings me to, what are you listening to? Make sure you have some people in your life who you can call, who let you vent for a little while, because my friends will let me get it all out, and then they will tell me, yeah, that happened to me. Oh yeah, you'll get over it. Yes, my kid's father passed away too. My kids were very young. This is what I did. You will get over, you will not get over it, but you will be able to manage through it, and life will be sweet for you again at some point. Don't let a situation dictate the entirety of your life. So who you're listening to, who do you have on speed dial, like your 911? And I was talking to another lady recently, and she said, well, I'm just careful about calling people because if I tell them that I have a problem, they want to start preaching to me. They want to start telling me all the things. They want to start telling me what I should do and what I need to do. I said, well, let me offer this to you in this moment. Give me a disclaimer. Hey, I'm getting ready to tell you a bunch of stuff. I don't need your advice. I don't need your 2 cents. I don't need you to tell me how to fix it. I just need to get it all out of my system. So she laughed and she thought, that's great if I could just do that with everybody. I said, absolutely. Whoever it is that you want to confide in, let them know ahead of time. I know you're the smartest person right now. I know God is speaking through you to me, but right now, just let me get it off my chest. I might change my mind and ask you for some advice a little later in the conversation, but right now, just let me get it off my chest. I think the stigma behind not having it all together needs to go away, because if we're honest, nobody has it all together, and everybody is struggling or having a challenge in some area at some point in their life. So having it all figured out, don't have that as a burden on your chest. Not being chipper and happy, don't take that as something that you have to always have. If you're feeling down, you're feeling down. Okay, so who are you listening to? I would like to give you my top 3 podcasts, YouTubers, the folks who I go to in a pinch In any given moment, who am I clicking on when I am feeling hopeless or angry or distraught or anything that's on the lower vibration scale? One, Michael Bernard Beckwith. Michael Bernard Beckwith is a minister. He's the head of Agape International, and his approach to life is so boots on the ground. It will definitely give you insight to help you shift your perspective so that you can take the next step. Kyle Cease is the second one. Kyle has a platform where he talks through shining a light on the darkness. How do we stop suppressing and holding back what we're feeling and let it shine through? So if your inner child is feeling something, or if you're having some traumatic experience today, allow yourself to process what that is. Maybe it's something from childhood. Maybe it's something from another time. So the way that he approaches his topics and conversations just really causes me to have some rapid transformation moment when I listen to Kyle Cease. So Kyle Cease is definitely somebody that I recommend you listen to. And my third is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a researcher, a scientist. He's all these things. He wrote the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and some others. That's the book that I listen to most often, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how we can do a meditation and cause ourselves to drop into our heart space so that we can stop being so analytical and stop worrying and being so beat up and downtrodden by what we're looking at. So your physical situation may be this. So your diagnosis is one thing, but what potentials exist in the quantum field that you can tap into? If we're all energy and energetically, it's a possibility for something else to take place. That's what Dr. Joe teaches. So Michael Bernard Beckwith, Kyle Cease, and Dr. Joe Dispenza are three dynamic sources for you to fuel your soul and get out of a dark space. All right, so now it's time for us to do our visualization guided meditation. So if you are somewhere safe and you can get comfortable and close your eyes for a few minutes, get ready to meditate with me. If not, pause this and come back to it another time. But if you are in a nice quiet space, go ahead and get comfortable with your feet flat on the floor and your hands in your lap with your palms either facing up or down. And I invite you to take your first intentional deep breath in here through your nose. And then exhale through your mouth. And allow your eyelids to close. Take another deep intentional breath in here through your nose. And then exhale through your mouth. Take another deep breath in here through your nose, and this time hold it for just a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1, and exhale through your mouth. Allow your shoulders to drop down away from your ears. Take in another deep breath in here through your nose. Hold that breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through your mouth, and this time feel your jawline soften, unclench your teeth. Allow your shoulders to drop down away from your ears a little more. Let's take another deep breath in here through your nose. And hold that breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale through your mouth. And this time you'll feel the tension between your eyebrows soften as your face begins to relax. And now continue to breathe as you normally would, but maybe there's just a little more rhythmically. Taking in a little bit more air and exhaling a little deeper. Give yourself permission to just relax in this moment. As you're continuing to breathe, I want you to begin to feel, sense, or imagine what it feels like to be supported, what it feels like to know that you're safe and you're protected. Allow that feeling to wash over you. And as you continue to breathe, I want you to just envision yourself with all your needs being met. Understanding that in this present moment right now, every need that you have is met. There's nothing that you need that you don't have right now in this present moment. So let that sit in your heart space. Maybe you feel warm in your heart center, where you allow yourself to focus on what it is that you have to be thankful for, and all of the possibilities that are available to you. As you continue to breathe right now, if you're in a space where things don't feel as good as you would like for them to, and maybe you're sad or maybe some hopelessness, I want you to think, are there some things that could happen that could make me feel as if today is not that bad? So thinking about some things that could happen that are not so good, that could make you look back and say, uh-oh, today isn't that bad comparatively. If that's the case, I want you to continue to breathe and accept a level of appreciation that things are the way that they are. Maybe they're not the way that we want them to be optimally. We're in a state of gratitude and appreciation that they're not worse than they are. And we're in a state of appreciation and gratitude that we have endless possibilities. Maybe a breakthrough to the next thing that you're looking to experience is as simple as a phone call away, an encounter, maybe an email comes through. So right now, as you continue to breathe, we're going to sit in the feeling of receptivity. I am open to receiving all the good that belongs to me by divine right. I am open, available, and receptive to receiving the next best thing that is flowing into my life. I anticipate the good, and I am strong and patient enough to continue to move forward in spite of. Another deep breath here. Hold the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale through your mouth. Allow yourself to come back into your body and wiggle your fingers and your toes. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. And know that you are supported and that you do have a purpose and that there is something that's brewing for you. Know that there are people who love you and who support you. And know that a situation doesn't dictate the overall journey. Know that a situation does not get to dictate what you do on a macro level. It's situational. Get help if you need help. We'll pop up a phone number for prevention and helplines. If you're in a space where you're looking to join a community where you can receive coaching for business and insight like this, because we do talks just like this in my Bliss Launch Incubator for aspiring entrepreneurs who have an idea that they want to launch, but just need the tools and the resources for how do you even start a business and how do you come up with the ideas? What do you do? How do you do it? And how do you overcome the fear and the anxiety? What you see here is what you get in the Bliss Launch Incubator, plus some business savvy tools, tips, and resources. So thank you for joining me today. I know this one was a little different, but come back. You never know what you're going to get.